Hi guys, welcome to Bath Fizz and Foam. My name is Robyn Smith. It's Monday, so it's time for a Make With Me Monday. I keep tucking this little hair back in and it keeps finding its way out. I'm sorry. Today, let's make our newest recipe, our solid scrub bars. Is that what they're called? I can't even remember. We debated like what to call them for a while. Okay, so let's make them though. I think you're gonna love them. I love them. I like want to make a whole bunch. I actually ordered another 23-pound container of cocoa butter from Soaper's Choice just so I wouldn't run out of cocoa butter, so I could make a bunch of these because I really like them. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so what's a solid scrub bar, right? Good question. A solid scrub bar, do we think everything's gonna fit in here? Maybe I should use this girl. She's big. I think everything would fit in here, but we're gonna use the big one just in case. This is the 500-gram batch. No, the recipe has like split up where you could do a 100-gram batch as like a test batch. You could do a 500-gram batch, or you could do a 1,000-gram batch. And then obviously you can continue to scale it if you want to. So I'm using raw cocoa butter from Soaper's Choice. If you're looking, I'm not sponsored by them, I'm just saying, like, if you're looking for a really good place to get bulk cocoa butter, it's Soaper's Choice, let me tell you. Okay, and then I'm adding some shea butter into here. And if you want substitutions, make sure that you check the recipe, because we list a lot of substitutions. So the recipe calls for the next ingredient to be SCI. And in my test bars that I did use SCI. But I also tried them with polysorbate 80, and I actually prefer to swap my SCI for polysorbate 80, which that's why I was talking about, you know, check in the recipe down in the bottom where we have our substitutions listed, because we say that you can do that. We say it down there. So I'm just saying. Okay, so I'm gonna use, in this batch, I'm gonna use polysorbate 80. I think the SCI is fine. The only reason I didn't, what did I not like? I think I could smell it or something, and it might have been that I added my fragrance oil when my stuff was too hot, so then some of my fragrance oil flashed off. It could have been that, but I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted you to know it's an option. You can use polysorbate 80 if you want to. Then the next ingredient that I'm going to use is beeswax. Now this is yellow beeswax that I'm using. You can use white beeswax. You can use a vegan wax like I used Scandalous. I also tried it with rice bran wax. So you can substitute your beeswax for pretty much any wax that you want to, if you want to. Okay. Also, I see a bunch of you guys. I don't see comments. I don't know why Facebook's doing that, but I don't know what to say. Next, cetyl alcohol. I've already weighed it out, so I'm not like tearing my scale. They're all like portioned out, right? But yeah, obviously tear your scale, change one. This is BTMS. It should be BTMS 50. I don't keep bulk BTMS 50 in stock, but I do keep bulk BTMS 25 in stock just because it's cheaper. So that's what this is, and I did not notice a difference between the ones that I made with BTMS 50 and the ones I made with BTMS 25, so you can swap out your BTMS 50 for BTMS 25 if you want to, and it's basically a hardener, and it's also a conditioning agent, and makes this like really soft, and I like it. It's also a mild emulsifier, but it's technically an e-wax, but it's not like enough on its own. Okay, so we've been through that, right? And then this last one is an e-wax. So e-wax stands for emulsifying wax, And the one I'm using is Emulsifying Wax NF, which stands for National Formulation. It may also stand for National Formulatory. Anyway, it's like a standardized e-wax across the board that you can find like across the board. But there are other types of e-wax. And I don't think in this recipe it makes a huge difference. But it does in some recipes, like in our sugar scrub recipe. Okay. So this is all of our phase 1 ingredients. I'm glad I used this the big bowl. I need a big bowl. And I'm gonna pop it in the microwave. It'll probably take about 4 minutes for that to totally melt down. So while that melts down, okay, so here's my test bars. Here's the question. I think this is too much purple. I want it to be a little bit less purple. But then I think this is too much purple. But I also tried this. So the question is, I really like the way this looks. Like just plain, I think this looks better than this. But should I try some that are swirled? And it might not make a difference to anybody if Facebook doesn't show me your comments. But if I somehow can magically see your comments, I'm going to channel, and I think that you would be telling me to do this, right? Or maybe you're telling me to do this. I don't know. So in the recipe, if you scroll down at the bottom, we have like some inspiration. So some ideas for like how you can combine the different ingredients to make something tasty and delicious. Because, I mean, don't eat it, but you know what I mean. If you didn't add, so like what we're doing right now, you could just use this with the next phase 2 ingredients, and you could use that as a lotion bar for the shower. So you could take it into the shower after you do your soaps and all that stuff, and exfoliate and all that stuff. Then you could use this without the exfoliants, right? Just plain Jane. And you could rub it on your skin and it'd be like lotion in the shower, and you rinse and then you get out and your skin's like really soft and you didn't have to put on lotion. Okay. However, you could also do what I'm gonna do and add different exfoliants into this. So I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar just so that I can say it's a solid sugar scrub bar, because I feel like I don't go to farmers markets or anything like that, so I'm gonna be taking this to a boutique and they sell my stuff for me, and so I won't be there to educate the customers about what it is. And so I feel like they would understand a solid sugar scrub more than a solid scrub bar. Like, and I know that that's like a really like fine line, but I feel like they would understand that more. So I am going to include a little bit of sugar in this, but you don't have to use sugar. So what I am going to use, I'm going to do the suggestion for, I think it's called like the Good Night bar, or like nighttime blend or something like that. Okay, so the exfoliants that are suggested are baking soda, ground oatmeal, I'm going to use colloidal oatmeal, and lavender essential oil. So that's what I'm going to use for those 3, and then I'm going to add just a little bit of sugar to it so I can call it a sugar scrub, a solid sugar scrub, so my people understand what a sugar scrub is, or what it is and what it's doing. And yeah, I think it'll be good. And I tested these and they're amazing. So this one was has like lemongrass and orange essential oil, and I also have like calendula petals in it, and it has sugar and pumice in it, so it's like a little bit more scrubby. So like how scrubby you want it is kind of up to you. What you want your exfoliant to be is up to you. You can use like baking soda, you can use pumice, you can use walnut shells, you can use, not like the whole shell, but like, you know what I'm saying, the round walnut shell. You can use the powdered orange zest, you could use lofa, you could use jojoba beads. There's like, you can use anything you want in here, and it's amazing. And you basically do, you can do up to 100% of your base, if that makes sense. Ooh, she's still going. Okay, okay. There's a little, what is this little thing? It was probably from like one of my oils, but I don't know what it is, but I'm taking it out. Okay, still going. Still going. We're going to keep melting her down. Okay. Got a little bit more. She's close though. I'm just going to do like one more minute. I think one more minute will do it. So, yeah, and I hope that if you guys are asking questions, just wait till because I can't see it, so just wait, and then after the live I can go back and answer questions. And yeah, I'm just excited about this. Let's see, what else is there to tell you? Okay, so yeah, so in the thing, like, we have different things listed. So like one of the ones I really want to try is the like, what do we call it, like a lava chocolate cake, and you use pumice, you use cocoa powder, and like a vanilla fragrance oil, or you could use a chocolate fragrance oil, but I find that vanilla fragrance oils tend to give more, they give more chocolate for some reason. Sometimes chocolate smells like poop to me in a when it's a fragrance oil. It's just not like as good. I think vanilla just hits better. Okay, so this is almost completely melted, and then we're gonna have to look at the temperatures for it. So we want the temperature to drop where beneath the flash point of our essential oil and our other in phase 2 ingredients. And so, like, for me, I have this this is my preservative, so this is really going to be the most important, like, one to pay attention to. So my preservative has a usage rate of 0.5 to 1.5. I went ahead and used my label maker and just put it on there, because every preservative has like a different range, and then it also has like what its flash point is, and if it's soluble in water or if it's soluble in oil. So this one, I want my oils to be under 140 before I add it. 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Sorry, anybody who's doesn't live with Fahrenheit. I don't know what the Celsius would be, so I can't help you on that. So we want the temperature to drop a little bit, but we also are going to add our preservative based off the weight of this base plus our exfoliants. So if I did it just based off the weight of this, but I double the volume of my product, then my preservative there might not be enough in it to preserve it. And the reason we add a preservative, I mean, it's kind of up to you. The product itself doesn't have water, but it's gonna be in the shower in the presence of water. So I think that that's kind of a no-brainer that it needs a preservative. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. So here's what I'm gonna do. I should have probably, before I added everything, taken the weight of my bowl empty, so then I could just subtract like the total weight of this on the scale minus the weight of my ball, and then I would know how much product I have, but I didn't do that. So here's what we're gonna do, and this will help it cool down faster too. So I'm gonna pour this into this cool measuring cup, and then I will have, well, that's hot. Like, the handle's not hot, but if I'm trying to pour it, it's hot. Okay, so then I will have the weight of everything together, okay? All right. And if you guys are, I probably haven't said this, but this is a recipe that is on our website. I will include a link in the description whenever this is done, to where I got well, I mean, obviously to where you can get this recipe, but also to where I got a lot of my supplies, probably not all of them, but if there's a supply I don't say and you want to know where it is, just let me know and I will add a link to that. So okay, so adding it to this, I'm at 167, so I'm still a little bit hot before I can add my phase. Well, I don't know, could I add my phase 2 ingredients? I probably could, but before I go any further, actually, so that was 485 grams, but I'm actually going to, since I have this opportunity, let's just weigh this and write it down so I don't have to do this again. So this bowl empty is 1,593 grams. Okay, so one of the good things about adding this to a cooler bowl is you can see it's starting to cool a little bit around the edges. But I'm going to keep stirring, and I'm just going to add this back in here. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my exfoliators, because I can do that now. Maybe not the sugar. I want the sugar to be a little bit lower in temp, but we'll see. But yeah, I will leave links to where I got like most of my supplies, like my cocoa butter and stuff like that. I'll leave links to where obviously we can get the recipe, and then my preservative, and then anything else that you're interested in. So I'm gonna add my baking soda, and I did 250 grams of baking soda, which is basically half of what my batch size is gonna be. And then to that, I'm gonna add another 50 grams of my colloidal oatmeal, and that just makes, like, oh man, it's so nice on skin. I have a kid that has eczema. Like, actually my sister has eczema, my nephew has eczema, and my son has eczema, and they all have it like pretty bad. I have very sensitive skin, but I definitely don't have eczema, and definitely not the way that they do. Like, their skin will crack and bleed. So something like this will be really nice for their skin, really soothing for their skin. And especially like okay, my sister's a baker, so she's washing her hands all the time. Or my younger son is still a school-age kid, and so they're washing their hands all the time, which is good, but you know, like, their hands are getting dry and chapped. And then my nephew's like 23, so he doesn't listen to what we say, and he won't, you know, use lotion or cream. So he's probably, you know, a lost cause, but whatever. Let's check our temps. Okay, we're good. It's at 134, so we're good. This is my vitamin E oil. We add vitamin E oil. Not only is it really nice for the skin, but it can help slow the oils from going bad, basically. This is sodium lactate, so we use that as a humectant, and also as it helps to harden the bars up a little bit. It's a really common ingredient in soap making, but probably also if you make lotions, you might have that too. And then since we're at temp and we're good, I'm gonna take this off the scale, go like this. Then I have my total weight, and I can just go ahead and say, okay, what the whole batch weighs. And wait, hold on. Okay, my whole batch weighs 1,000. Okay, like 1,200. So if I'm using my usage rate at 0.5 to 1%, I can just calculate 1% and say that I need to use 12 grams of this. Does that make sense? So you're gonna need to calculate and like that's one of the things for this recipe. Like, there's a whole section we talk about it. Like, you're gonna have to calculate it for your preservative. Okay, so if you use Optifin, if you use Liquid Germall Plus, this one's called Cap 2. If you use Phenafip, which is what Amanda used, Phenanip, I don't know how to say it. Anyway, if you use that one, whatever your preservative is, calculate it for your preservative, okay? Don't just go off of, like, this recipe says to do 12 grams, I'm going to do 12 grams, okay? I think we should try to do lace swirl. Okay, I think we should try it. Because in soap making, oh wait, we ran out of fragrance oil. Hold on. Come here. Come here. Just kidding. And a fragrance oil is only like 10 grams, so it's not going to affect how much preservative we have. It's such a minuscule amount. It'll be fine. Okay, now we'll stir that up. Okay, so I'm thinking let's do the swirl. I'm going to show you a technique called an in the pot swirl, which I think will work really well for this. I'm kind of excited about. I'm heating up this container because I want it to be at least a little bit warm. I don't want it to be exactly room temperature. So we're going to add let's do about half. And where did my mica go? I bet it fell. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I had mica picked out. Okay, we're going to use this mica from Buddy Soap Co. called Lady Violet. And I'm going to use, because I used too much in the first one for sure. So I'm going to use like a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just going to add it straight in. I'm going to stir it in. We're going to let it cool just a little bit more before we add it to this one. Okay, let's see if I can see comments. I do see a comment. I see Matt Smith saying he likes my t-shirt. Thank you. I live in Texas, and it seems like sometimes we forget that everybody is a person too. So, anyway, you know, Texas problems, okay? All right. So I don't want to leave this too long in here by himself because he will get a little skin and solidify, and I don't want that to happen. Okay. But I do want, where's my whisk? I do want it to be like just right. I want it to be a little bit thicker than this. If it's too liquidy, then they're just going to combine with each other. Which I think Amanda also talks about that in the recipe guide. That like, if it's too liquid and warm, then your exfoliants are just going to fall to the bottom. And if I have too much mix, I have some little like leftover ones on the side we can use. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this into this one. I'm just going to pour the whole thing like this. We're going to see if this works. Haven't tried it. This is not the way I did that first one. But I was like, oh, this is cute. I want to do this. It's not the way I did that one. But you're here to see. You're here to see the magic. Okay? The mystery and the wonder. Let's see if it works. Okay, it's too much white. Hold on. Let's do this. I don't think it's gonna work. I think that I should have put them both in a cooler pot because that's what I did last time. Okay, anyway. Whatever. It's all purple now. I will figure this out. I will figure out how I did this. Because that would be really cool, right? If you're a soap maker, you know what I'm talking about. The addiction of pretty soap pours is a very real and dangerous thing. So I will figure that out. Oh, yeah. And my sugar. So now I can call it a sugar scrub. Now, I've always made solid sugar scrubs. Now, tell me, like, if you've made solid sugar scrubs like this, but I've always made them where you use melt and pour soap, you melt it down, and you add sugar to it. And, like, that's fine. But, number one, your cost of having to have melt and pour hanging around, like, that's just an extra ingredient that you have to keep in stock. You have to buy from a supplier, so your, like, how your profit on it is going to be a little bit less because you're having to buy the ingredient instead of just making it from scratch yourself. But also, I just don't like the long list of ingredients that you have to include for melt and pour soap. Like, they have a lot of ingredients in them, and you can get ones that have less ingredients. I think the one I used to use was like a Stevenson that had, I would just look for the one that had the least amount of ingredients to have to list. But to me, it's not ideal. I want to be able to, like, I don't know. I want to be able to say it's just cocoa butter and shea butter, and like the main ingredient is cocoa butter. Like, how much nicer is that than saying that the main ingredient is whatever is in melt and pour soap? You know what I mean? Let's pour the extras into here. The little extra bits that I have. And that tells me that I could probably, you know what that tells me? That tells me I could definitely order another one of the sets of these silicone moon molds on Amazon. That's what that says to me. Okay, now she's getting thick because she's at the end. Look at that. She's getting a little thick. Okay, hold on. Let's give her a stir. But that's not bad. I mean, it got thick right there at the end. I probably could have been stirring the whole time and it wouldn't have happened like that. Still not bad though. Still poured really smoothly. So yeah, what I'll do is when this live is over, I will pop these into the freezer for like an hour maybe. It doesn't take that long. I mean, I guess it depends on how many you do and if you defrost all your frozen corn or whatever while you're in there doing it. Like, okay, that might make a difference. But yeah, I'll pop them into the freezer for like an hour, and then this is what they'll look like. And then to use it, you would get in the shower, you would get clean, you get soap all over you, and then you would scrub, scrub, scrub. Irene says, am I the only one who can't hear her? I hope not. That would be a real bummer. Those are only like two comment. Okay, wait. Then I see Kathy says it would be really cool to swirl. I will figure it out. I might do it for Patreon because I know I probably just needed to put. I probably could have used these two, like two cool. It's because glass holds heat, and so this one was warmer than this one, so they didn't like, you know, blend very well. But I will figure it out. And then Sunday says that, or Shandia. I'm sorry, I probably said your name wrong. Anyway, says that you forget to write it down and you can never duplicate it. It's kicking it hard, you know. Sometimes I film myself so I can see what's going on. And Mikey said that they finally made it to a live. Yay! Hi. And then Kathy says that she's sure that I will post links, and I will for sure post links once this is over. And I'll post links for where I got, like I said, where you can get this recipe, but also where I got like a lot of these ingredients if you're interested. But we do in the recipe guideline, we do list at the bottom like these are good places that you can look for to get these ingredients. So we do kind of try to help you out like that. So Shandia is right. Okay, I got that. Nice. Anyway, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for being a happy maker. Happy making.